Hi, my name is Maureen Brennan. I'm a technical advisor for the Federal and State Grants Unit here at the Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority. This is one of a series of very brief webinars that we've put together and posted with the R3 NOFO on March 1st, 2024 to provide our applicants and potential grantees with some insight into our grant processes and what's going to happen in case you get a grant from R3 solicitation. So let's take a look today at the required reports. So there are two kinds of reports that are required from all of our grantees on a regular basis. The first one is the periodic financial report, which we refer to as the PFR. It is typically submitted monthly, though if your grant uses the reimbursement dispersal method, you may elect to submit your reports quarterly. Very few people do that because that means that you only receive your dispersals from the grant on a quarterly basis. So most people do submit their PFRs on a monthly basis. All of our grants also are required to submit periodic performance reports, or PPRs. And the format of these PPRs varies by the particular program and by the fund, but all of our PPRs are submitted on a quarterly basis. All of the reports, whether they're the PFRs or the PPRs, are always submitted no later than 15 days after the period that's being reported. If there are any staff that are funded under your grant program, then those staff need to maintain timesheets. In addition, they need to submit either a personnel activity report, or PAR, or a time certification. Personnel activity reports, the PARs, are submitted quarterly along with a PFR, and those are for the staff that are not charged 100% to the program. Time certifications are submitted quarterly with the PFR for all funded staff that are 100% of their time is charged to the grant agreement. Now, timesheets for the staff, as I said, have to be maintained. They do not have to be submitted with your grant to your grant specialist, but you do have to maintain time sheets, time records for all staff charged to the agreement, and you need to be able to submit it to the authority as requested. So here's a typical PPR reporting schedule. You can see that the due date is always 15 days after the end of the period that's being reported. And we always use the calendar quarter. So even if your grant doesn't start at the beginning of one of these quarterly periods, you would still need to report on that odd quarter 15 days after the end of the period that is performed. So why are these due dates important? For you, the dispersals are made based on the PFRs that you're submitting, those financial reports that you're submitting. So we can't make dispersals to you until we get those PFRs. In addition, inaccurate or late PFRs will delay your dispersals. If the numbers don't add up, or if there's something out of whack on your PFR when your grant specialist reviews it, then they're going to have to go back to you to get it corrected, and that's going to delay the dispersal. It's important for the PPRs as well, because we actually do review these performance reports that you submit. They really are the tool that you're going to use to reflect the work that you're doing. And we are frequently asked to compile the PPRs for a particular program or for a particular grantee for a particular fund and report it to the R3 board or to the authority board, and sometimes to the General Assembly. So if your data has not been submitted on time, then you're going to be left out of that compiled data, and we won't be able to relay the work of your program to these boards that have oversight over our program activity. Now, another important thing to keep in mind is that delayed submission of required reports or other grant-related material after their due date may actually trigger us having to place you on the stop pay list. So there's a separate recording that goes into detail on the stop pay and that whole process. But the takeaway on that is that if you're severely delinquent and it triggers a stop pay, it not only shuts off the funding that you'll receive from the state or from the authority on this program, it'll be on all of your programs. And if you're on the stop pay list, it will turn off the funding on all of the GATA related agencies. So if you have a grant from DHS, it would turn off the money from the DHS as well as the money from the authority until we bring you back into compliance. So the timeliness of your reporting is really key for a lot of different reasons. Keep the funds flowing, to keep us informed on your work and being able to tell the powers that be what your program has been doing, and to keep you off the stop pay list as well. So that's our brief look at the required reports. Here's a list of all of the brief recordings that we're posting with the R3 NOFO. If you have any questions about the content of any of these recordings or the NOFO, I encourage you to submit a question to the NOFO Q&A. We do respond to each of those questions. We post the questions and the answers on a regular basis on the NOFO website. Thanks for joining me today.